All right, so this is a picture of the cake that started the whole trend, the whole idea. So you want to explain how this
Sure.
came to be?
Yeah, so she sent me a sketch. Summer's an amazing cake designer too, and a super close friend of mine. So we decided we would trade birthday cakes for our kids because she throws these amazing parties that are amazing. And so she thought, well, if I don't have to make the cake, it would free me up to do all the decorations and all the other things that happen in the party. And so I was kind of the same way, although my parties aren't quite as crazy. But not having to worry about a birthday cake would be great. So
Hmm.
she sent me this sketch for her daughter that she came up with for this fashionista birthday party she was doing for her.
Adorable, by the way.
Runway, the girls got to wear little modeling outfits and do a little runway. It was so amazing,
So cute.
so cute. So, so this design, it was the bottom design on that cake that you see in that picture. It has a vertical stripe, a pink and white vertical stripe that's laid on top of a different colored fabric, or a different colored fondant, sorry.
Hmm.
And so I kept thinking, well, how am I going to get those stripes on the cake and then cut the scallop out without damaging the fondant behind the scallop that I was cutting away? So I literally was sitting on my kitchen on a stool, just going like this. How am I going to do it? And I always have wax paper and Crisco sitting around. So because I love those two products a lot for cake design, and I kept thinking if I could just do it on my work surface and cut that scallop out and somehow get it on my cake, that would be ideal. And that's just kind of how it came to me. Again, I totally know that it was a God thing for me, but it just was this random thought, and I started to build all those stripes on my work surface, and I cut out the template that I had created. I create all of my designs in AutoCAD because of my design background, my business. I use that all the time. So I create that little scallop as a template and then put it on my stripes after I laid them all out and cut it out, and then was able to just stick it up on the cake like it was a sticker. So it was awesome. I was so happy.
That is so cool. This design on this cake is just it screams fashionista, and I love it. And I love that it was for a little girl's birthday party. That is just so fun.
Yeah, she's really talented. It's so fun to share ideas back and forth and to work through designs together with her. So
So fun. All right, so here is the way that the way that you do your transfers.
mhm.
This is just a small part of what you're teaching on your Craftsy video, right? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, this is fairly basic. You go more into detail on different designs, different colors, different
And there's a couple other ways besides this technique I'm going to show you here. There's two other ways that you can use the wax paper transfer depending upon the design. So lots of different designs, you can use it in lots of different ways. So this is just one of the three ways that you
Oh,
can.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. This is the only one I know, so I'm gonna have to go get your video. So cool. All right, so go ahead and I'll let you walk us through this tutorial, and then we'll
So
get.
again, this is a template I created in AutoCAD, and if you don't have AutoCAD, which most people don't, you could find any kind of a chevron pattern online and just recreate it basically, print it on your printer and size it to like you want it and get it all sized out for your cake. Basically, I measure the height of my cake and the circumference of my cake to create that giant template. And then I printed a second copy and cut out one of those stripes. So I had one set of the little chevron stripe, and I used that to cut out all my chevron stripes. So what you do is you take the big giant template that you see on the bottom there, and you take that to your counter, and then you take a piece of wax paper that's a little bit longer than that template, and you lay it on top of your yeah, just like, there you go. You lay it on top of your template, the wax paper, and then you grease the wax paper up with some Crisco, and then you start laying your design on top of the template and lining up your chevron pattern and getting them nice and even, just like you'd wanna. I think there's another picture there that shows it all laid out.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
also cut right on your wax paper if you want to, but if you're afraid you might cut through it, then you can cut that chevron out separately and transfer it. let it sit up on your counter and get nice and firm, and then, not nice and firm because you still want to be able to put it around your cake, but, let it sit for, 20 minutes or so it firms up a little bit, and then transfer onto your design.
Okay.
And
And
then
how did you do this one? Did you cut it out and then transfer it, or did
cut it
you?
out and then transferred it. I was working with modeling chocolate on this one. So, and modeling chocolate cuts and transfers beautifully because it doesn't bend or stretch. And so if you're using modeling chocolate, you can easily transfer. But if you're going to use fondant, I would try to cut on the wax paper, just cut carefully.
Okay.
But this one I cut separately and transferred it onto the design. And then I had a little portraits on this design, so I cut out my little holes for where the portraits would be between the chevron before I put on my cake.
I'm not sure if I put that on the.
Well, I think it might be in the final image of the cake if I sent you that, hopefully.
Let me make sure I did get it. You
On
can keep going, and I'll go look for it.
It's on my blog, so you could go there and see
That's true.
the final version of the cake too. So yeah. And then once your template is set and you have kind of straightened everything, then you wet the back of it with some water or sugar glue, and then you line up the bottom of the template with the bottom of the cake, so you have to kind of turn the template around. And then you just kind of flip it up and you wrap it around your cake like a big sticker. And then you press it with a fondant smoother and you peel that fondant or that wax paper off, and it should leave your design on there really close to being perfect. I mean, there's always a little bit that gets shifted or that can move, but again, super easy to go back and just, fix a few of those areas that need to be corrected. So, but yeah, that's as simple as it is. And again, it would take you so much longer to do this by hand than working on your work surface and applying it all together. It just saves so much time.
Yeah, I did a chevron cake at one point, and let's see if we have that final picture. Oh, there's
peeling it off.
Peeling it off. What happened? What do you do if it starts to pull away? Is there and it, maybe it starts to sag as you're pulling it away? Is there anything to?
Like if when you're pulling the wax paper away, it pulls the fondant away with it.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a good, either water or sugar glue in the back of that, what I'll do is I'll get it, after you get up on your cake and you wrap it around, before I peel the wax paper away, I'll make sure I really press that design onto my cake. Use a fondant smoother if you want to. And you can even let it sit there for a few minutes to make sure that it's adhered. And then you slowly start peeling that wax paper around. And I just do it super slowly so I can kind of see what's happening as I'm moving it. But it doesn't happen very often. One of the biggest tricks, though, is keeping your medium really thin. The thicker that your design is, the heavier it becomes, and the more chance it could fall off the wax paper. So you really want to keep your design, your medium, really thin so that it's nice and light.
Good. Yeah. We like the thin anyway, right?
Yeah.
I was saying I had done a chevron cake a while ago, and I pieced it on piece by piece, and it was, and it wasn't as small as this. It wasn't as,
repetitive. Yeah.
Here we go. I didn't get. Let me go back really fast.
Oh, okay, you can snag it off my blog and throw it up there if you want.
Yeah, I can grab it from. I'm on your blog right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to screen share this. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it.
I did this cake for my friend who adopted a baby from Africa. So it was so sweet. Such a beautiful party. And
oh, here I am. Okay, let me pull this up for you. Here's the finished product.
There you go.
So you guys can see that. And that's Jessica's blog right there. So Jessica Cakes at Blogspot.
Yeah.
Or Jessica Cakes blog at blogspot.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And we'll actually have a link to her website on CakeFu later on today. We'll share the recipe that she's going to share. So this right here is the cake that went with it. So you can see in the pattern how it had the circles, the gaps in it. That's what she put on there. And I love the giraffes. It's just so cool.
It was so cute. A little black giraffe in the middle.
Oh, I love that. How it's the white dress and the little
Yeah.
baby black
Oh,
giraffe.
he's so yummy. Oh, so sweet.
And did you put writing in the middle of that?
Yeah, there's a verse in there that had really carried them through this whole adoption journey.
Oh,
It was a verse that was really special to her heart, and so I put that verse in there. And then each of the little portraits around was an African animal that had one of his names in the animal. He had, I think, 5 different names because of his
oh,
American name and then plus his African names that he was given. So they kept some of those names. So his name's really long. So
wow.
I made a portrait for each of his names with the animal that kind of was from his area. So yeah,
How
very
cool.
personal. That's what I love about this. Doing this as a ministry for my friends, I get to just make stuff so personal for them, and I love making my friends cry.
Oh, isn't it
Like
fun?
in a good way, in a good way, you know.
I guess we'll move on to you're sharing a recipe with us today, which I think it's kind of appropriate because you've got a yellow cake here
I
today.
noticed that too.
And maybe that was your inspiration. You were looking at it while you were thinking about your recipe. I don't know.
No, it's near and dear to my heart. So
You
it's
know
one of
what?
my good friends' favorite recipe too. So
Oh, that's funny because one of my best friends growing up, our favorite thing to make together, we would go over to her house and we'd make lemon bars all the time.
yeah,
So
they're so
fun. So anyway, lemon bars with cream cheese.
You
That
have to have the
sounds
cream
so
cheese.
delicious.
That's kind of the trick for me. I love lemon bars, but when you add the creamy filling in there, yum.
So good. So good. Okay, so just so that you guys know, you don't have to, frantically scribble this down. I will be putting it up on our blog. So you can go and get the recipe a little bit later on today. But do you have a story that goes along with this, or just that it's
No, I kind of just
something?
forgot how much I love lemon bars until my friend Jen, I found out she loves lemon bars, and so I made her some for fun, I think, one day. I don't remember why I made them for her. And she flipped out about them, and I have made them ever since because they're so yummy.
Well, good.
My husband, he's a huge lemon fan. He would prefer lemon over chocolate any day, and
Oh,
so
wow.
that's our kind of staple. In fact, my daughter's birthday cake this weekend is a lemon birthday
Lemon
cake.
cake.
We're kind of a lemon
Awesome.
family here, so yeah.
Yum. I do like lemon. So I like chocolate too, though. So
Yeah.